Okay, morning everybody. Here looking out the window thinking it's not very pleasant at the moment. That's because there's a cold front just gone through. Yeah, pretty sort of strong cold front. First serious one we've seen for probably a month. And this is first reasonable rain that we've actually had for quite a while. The field was drying out nicely, but I think it's going to be a bit soggy after this. So you can see here, this is the lunchtime chart. It's cleared us by then and should be over northern France by that time. So hopefully we're into a northwesterly flow, quite tightly spaced isobars, so it will be breezy. Sort of forecasting 15 gusting 25. You can see the pressure's down to 1,008, so it's reasonably unstable air mass. Might be some soaring, but I think with the strong wind, thermals will be sort of broken up. Farnborough, last couple of days the TAF's sort of been fairly short, but now it's sort of covering a reasonable spectrum of what they think is happening from first thing this morning running through to this evening. So key bits, they're talking about scattered at 2.5 here later on. I'm assuming that's probably after the front goes through. They're sort of suggesting it's going to be raining between 9 and 11 around that period, and broken at 1,200 feet, which is probably what we've got out there now. Tempo as the front goes through, gusting sort of 18, 28 knots, and then after that it sort of really clears through. And by midday to 3 o'clock, it's 15 gusting 25. So I think the clearance is going to be mid-morning, any time after sort of 10:30, and then hopefully things will get better fairly quickly. And upper winds, yeah, they're going to be strong. You saw how tightly spaced the isobars were, so you can see between the two boxes here. West northwesterly 30 knots. I think as the day goes on it will come back a little bit more westerly where we are, but it looks like it's going to stay that sort of wind strength for most of the day, and certainly going into tonight. And again, looks a bit breezy for tomorrow. Sat pick, I just pause it there. You can see the front here and the rain. The rain is about here, and you can see that on the rainfall radar in a sec. It's behind this, fairly clear, odd showers lurking about. So rainfall radar shows that we're not far away from the edge of it. There's this little bit to come through yet. So sometime around 10 o'clock, maybe a little bit later than that, it'll have cleared us completely. But there are showers behind that. Hopefully they'll dry out, and it will be a fairly pleasant, if not a bit cold day, because unfortunately that wind coming from northerly direction or northwesterly direction is certainly going to take the edge off the temperatures. They're talking about 5 or 6, and that seems to match with the other forecast that I've looked at, and that'll be most of the day wind chill of a degree or 2 less than that, so it's going to feel a bit chilly out there. Top Meteo, I think, has got it spot on as well. They're talking about 10 o'clock, the rain clearing us perhaps a little bit before that, but 10 o'clock the cloud beginning to clear us, and then quite pleasant. That's 12 o'clock, and then 2 o'clock just cumulus, large amounts of cloud by the looks of it. Height of that I don't really know. I think it's going to be about 2 to 2,500 feet, but should be a pleasant day, if not a bit breezy. Unfortunately, also got slightly wet ground, and I'll talk about that in a minute after I talked about airspace and the jet movement we have today. So airspace, these three here, they've been the same yesterday, the day before that. They don't affect us in any way, shape or form. So there is no local airspace issues here around Lasham. and out to the northwest, and the ATZ at Fairford is activated today till the afternoon. So that's about it really in our area, fairly quiet in terms of airspace. Jet movement, there is a 737 coming in from Prestwick. So its flight pan forecasts a takeoff at about 10:15 from Glasgow Prestwick, in here at about 11:15, something like that. I'll keep an eye on that, and we'll see how we set up, because I have a funny feeling they might delay it a little bit if the weather looks a bit iffy here. In terms of setup, the grass is going to be a bit wet, I think. So just initially, we're probably going to set up with a runway operation a little bit further forward at the 2723 intersection, with the cables on the north side, and then the winch gliders and the launch point vehicle in the middle, and then landing on the runway. So it'll be circuits to the north, you land on the main runway. Circuits to the south, you land on the south side grass. So we don't get mirrored circuits to the same landing area. We'll see how that works. If the grass is actually okay, we might move the launch point back to the normal place, but it will mean we'll probably get slightly reduced launch heights. Today I would have thought sort of only 1,200–1,300 feet probably, in the sort of northwesterly wind. Okay, so we'll just sit and wait for a bit until it clears, rain clears through, and then we'll round everybody up and go out and go flying.